The champagne glass slipped from my hand. It didn't shatter dramatically like in the movies. It just fell, hitting the carpet with a dull thud, liquid spreading across expensive fabric. Nobody noticed. They were all watching Marie, her hand resting on my boyfriend's arm, her smile perfect and practiced. "We've been together since Lauren's birthday," she said softly. The room went silent. 20 pairs of eyes turned to me. I stood there, frozen, trying to process what she just said. My birthday was 3 months ago. 3 months of dinners where she sat across from us. 3 months of her asking about our relationship, offering advice, playing the supportive best friend. I looked at Daniel. He couldn't meet my eyes. His jaw was tight, his face red. He looked guilty, ashamed, but not surprised. This wasn't news to him. Marie turned toward me then. Her expression wasn't apologetic or sad. It was calm, almost satisfied, like she'd been waiting for this moment. Like she'd rehearsed it. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, to ask why. But nothing came out. My throat felt tight, my chest heavy. Everyone waited for me to react, to cry, to cause a scene. Instead, I picked up my purse, turned around, and walked out. The silence behind me felt louder than anything I could have said. Rain hit the windshield hard. I sat in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel, staring at nothing. The restaurant parking lot was empty except for a few cars. Inside, the party was probably still going. People talking in hushed voices, trying to figure out what just happened. Marie played the victim, saying she didn't mean for it to happen this way. Daniel making excuses, trying to explain himself. I didn't care anymore. I looked at my reflection in the rear-view mirror. My mascara hadn't run. I hadn't cried. I looked the same as I did an hour ago, but everything felt different. "After your birthday." Those words kept replaying in my mind. This wasn't a sudden mistake. This wasn't an accident. They had planned this. They had lived this lie for months, while I trusted them both completely. My phone buzzed. Messages flooding in. Friends asking if I was okay, if I needed anything. I turned it off. I didn't want their pity. I didn't want to explain. I just wanted to understand how I missed it, how I didn't see what was happening right in front of me. I started the car and drove home slowly. The streets were empty. The city looked different at night, quieter, lonelier. I thought about all the times Marie insisted on coming over, all the times she wanted to hang out with both of us. She wasn't being a good friend. She was studying us, learning Daniel, replacing me. The apartment felt too quiet. I stood in the doorway, looking at the living room we'd decorated together. Photos on the wall showed us laughing, hugging, making stupid faces. Marie and me at graduation. Marie and me at concerts. Marie and me on road trips. We looked happy. We looked like sisters. Her perfume still hung in the air. She'd been here yesterday, helping me plan tonight's dinner. She'd picked out my dress, done my makeup, told me I looked beautiful. The whole time she knew. The whole time she was sleeping with my boyfriend. I walked to the couch and sat down. The photos stared at me. I didn't take them down. I didn't throw them away. I just sat there, looking at the girl I used to be. The girl who trusted too easily. The girl who never suspected her best friend would do this. My phone sat on the coffee table, still turned off. I didn't want to see the messages. I didn't want to read Daniel's apologies or Marie's explanations. I didn't want to hear that they didn't mean to hurt me, that it just happened, that they tried to fight it. Because it didn't just happen. They chose this. Every day for 3 months, they chose this. They chose each other. And they chose to let me look like a fool. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Morning light filtered through the curtains. I'd barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Marie's face, heard her voice. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I reached for my phone. 17 missed calls. 32 text messages. Most were from friends. 3 were from Daniel. 1 was from Marie. I opened hers first. The message was simple, almost casual. I didn't mean for it to happen this way.
Can we talk?
I stared at those words.
She didn't say sorry. She didn't say it was a mistake.
She just said she didn't mean for it to happen this way. Like the problem wasn't what she did. The problem was how I found out. I took a screenshot.
I don't know why.
maybe I wanted proof. Maybe I wanted to remember this moment, this feeling. Maybe I just needed to do something, anything, that felt like control. I didn't reply. She didn't deserve my words. She didn't deserve my anger or my pain. She wanted a reaction. She wanted me to fight back, to give her a reason to play victim. But I wouldn't give her that. I deleted the message and put my phone face down. Outside, the city was waking up. People going to work, living normal lives. My life wasn't normal anymore. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. I used to think Marie and I were unbreakable. We met in college, both freshmen lost in a sea of strangers. She sat next to me in English class, borrowed a pen, and never gave it back. We laughed about it later. That pen became a joke between us. She kept it on her desk for years, a symbol of our friendship. We were inseparable. Study sessions turned into late-night talks. Weekend plans always included each other. When we graduated, moving in together felt natural. We found a small apartment downtown, split the rent, and decorated it with mismatched furniture from thrift stores. It was ours. Our little sanctuary. Marie was easy to live with. She cleaned without being asked. She always had snacks. She remembered birthdays and anniversaries. She was thoughtful, reliable, almost too perfect. Looking back now, I see the signs. The way she always wanted to know everything about my life. The way she asked about Daniel constantly. The way she showed up unannounced, always at the right time. But back then, I just thought she cared. I thought that's what best friends did. They showed up. They paid attention. They made you feel seen. I didn't realize she wasn't just seeing me. She was studying me, learning my patterns, my weaknesses, my life. She wasn't building our friendship. She was building her plan. Moving in together was my idea. Marie had just broken up with her boyfriend. She needed a place, and I had an extra room. It made sense. We already spent most of our time together anyway. The apartment was small but comfortable. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen barely big enough for both of us. We made it work. Marie took the smaller room, without complaining. She said she didn't need much space. She was always like that, accommodating, flexible. It made her easy to love. She had a way of making everything seem effortless. She never forgot to buy toilet paper. She always did her dishes. She knew exactly when I needed space and when I needed company. Looking back, that should have been the first warning sign. Nobody's that perfect. Nobody reads people that well, unless they're watching closely. But I didn't question it. I just felt lucky. Lucky to have a friend who understood me. Lucky to have someone I could count on. We fell into a routine quickly. Coffee in the morning before work.
Dinner together most nights.
Weekend brunches at our favorite cafe. People always commented on how close we were. "You two are like sisters," they'd say. Marie would smile and squeeze my hand. "Better than sisters," she'd reply. And I believed her. I believed we had something special. Something rare. I didn't know she was already looking for ways to take more. I met Daniel at a work conference. He was presenting on marketing strategies. I was there covering it for my company's blog. We talked during the coffee break. He was funny, smart, a little awkward. I liked him immediately. When I got home that night, Marie was waiting up. She always wanted to hear about my day. I told her about Daniel, how we'd exchanged numbers, how he'd asked me to dinner. She seemed excited. "That's amazing," she said. "You deserve someone good." 2 weeks later, I introduced them. Daniel came over for dinner. Marie cooked, which was unusual. She normally hated cooking. But that night, she made Daniel's favorite dish. Somehow, she'd found out he loved Italian food. She asked him questions all night. About his job, his family, his hobbies. She laughed at his jokes, complimented his stories. "He's perfect for you," she told me later. I agreed. Daniel was perfect. He was patient and kind. He listened when I talked.
He remembered small details.
He made me feel important. Marie started joining us more often. "Don't want to be a third wheel," she'd joke. But she never felt like one. She fit into our relationship seamlessly. Daniel liked her. He said it was nice that my best friend approved. I thought so too. I thought it meant we were building something real. Something that included the people we loved. I didn't see what was really happening. I didn't see her learning him the way she'd learned me. The signs were small at first. Marie would laugh too hard at Daniel's jokes. She'd touch his arm when she talked. She'd ask him personal questions when I left the room. Just girl talk, she'd say when I walked back in. But something felt off. One night, we were all watching a movie. Marie sat between us. Her shoulder pressed against Daniel's. I noticed, but said nothing. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was seeing things that weren't there. Friends sit close.
It didn't mean anything.
But then it happened again. And again. Marie always found reasons to be near him, to touch him, to get his attention. When I mentioned it, she laughed. Don't be weird, Lauren. He's your boyfriend. I'm just comfortable around him. She made it sound like I was the problem. Like I was being jealous and possessive. Like I didn't trust her. And maybe I didn't. Not completely. But I pushed those feelings down. I told myself I was imagining things. Marie was my best friend. She would never hurt me. She'd proven that over and over. She'd been there through everything. Bad breakups, job losses, family drama. She'd never let me down. So I ignored my gut. I ignored the way Daniel's eyes lingered on her sometimes. I ignored the way she dressed differently when he came over. I ignored all of it. Because admitting the truth meant losing everything. And I wasn't ready for that. I found her in my room one Saturday morning. She was standing in front of my mirror, wearing my new dress. The one I'd bought for my date with Daniel that night. What are you doing? I asked. She turned, startled, then laughed. Just wanted to see if it fits. We're the same size, right? We weren't. She was taller, Kavya. The dress hung differently on her. But she knew that. She'd watched me try it on the day I bought it. It looks better on you, she said, pulling it off. You should definitely wear this tonight. I took the dress from her, feeling violated. It wasn't about the dress. It was about the boundaries she'd crossed. She'd gone into my room without asking, gone through my things, tried on my clothes. But when I looked at her face, she seemed genuine. Like she really didn't understand why I was upset. Sorry, she said. I didn't think you'd mind. And maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I was overreacting. We shared everything else. Shampoo, snacks, Netflix accounts. What was one dress? But it felt different. It felt like she was trying on my life, seeing if it fit her better. That night, I wore the dress to dinner. Daniel complimented it. You look beautiful, he said. But I couldn't stop thinking about Marie standing in front of my mirror, looking at herself in my clothes, maybe imagining herself in my place. Marie had a way of becoming the center of attention. At parties, she told the best stories. At dinners, she asked the best questions. People loved her. They were drawn to her energy, her confidence, her charm. Daniel was no exception. We went to a friend's birthday party together. Marie came with us. She wore a red dress, her hair down, makeup perfect. Everyone noticed when she walked in. She worked the room effortlessly, making jokes, remembering names, asking about people's lives. Daniel watched her. I saw it. The way his eyes followed her across the room. The way he smiled when she laughed. The way he leaned in when she talked. I told myself it didn't mean anything. She was magnetic. Everyone watched her. It was just who she was. But then I saw them together in the kitchen.
Marie was pouring wine.
Daniel was laughing at something she said. His hand was on the counter, close to hers. Too close. They didn't see me watching. They were in their own world. A mutual friend approached me. You three are like the perfect trio, she said. You're so lucky to have them. I smiled and nodded. But inside something twisted. Because she was right. We did look perfect together. But I was starting to realize I was the third wheel. Not Marie. She wasn't joining our relationship. She was replacing me in it. And everyone could see it except me. I heard it from Bradley. He was Marie's coworker, someone I'd met a few times. We ran into each other at a coffee shop. Hey, I saw Marie and Daniel the other day, he said casually. They were at that new cafe downtown. I froze. When? Tuesday afternoon. They looked deep in conversation. Work stuff, probably.
Tuesday.
Daniel had told me he was meeting a client. Marie had said she was working late. Neither mentioned seeing each other. I thanked Bradley and left quickly. My mind raced. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe they ran into each other by accident. Maybe they were planning a surprise for me. I wanted to believe that. I needed to believe that. But doubt crept in. Why wouldn't they mention it? Why would they both lie? When I got home, Marie was making dinner. "How was your day?" she asked brightly.
Good.
"Yours?" Long didn't leave the office until 7.
She didn't blink. Didn't hesitate.
The lie came easily. I wanted to confront her, to ask about Tuesday, to demand the truth. But I didn't. Because if I was wrong, I'd look paranoid. And if I was right, everything would fall apart. So I said nothing. I helped her cook. We ate together, talking about nothing important. The whole time, I watched her, looking for cracks in her performance. But there were none. She was perfect. Too perfect. When I finally pulled back, Marie noticed immediately. I stopped texting first. I made plans without including her. I spent more time alone. She didn't like it. "Are you okay?" she asked one night. "You've been distant." "I'm fine. Just tired." "Is it me? Did I do something?" Her eyes were wide, concerned. She looked hurt, like my distance was breaking her heart. "No, it's not you." "Then what is it?"
Talk to me, Lauren.
We tell each other everything. But we didn't. Not anymore. She had secrets. I had suspicions. The friendship we'd built was cracking. "I'm just stressed about work." I lied. She nodded, accepting it. But her expression changed. Something harder flickered in her eyes. "You know I'd never hurt you, right?" she said. "You're my best friend. I'd do anything for you." The words should have comforted me. Instead, they made my skin crawl. Because people who had to say they'd never hurt you usually already had. "I know," I replied. She smiled and hugged me tight. Too tight, like she was trying to hold on to something slipping away. That night, I lay in bed thinking about trust. How easily it's given. How slowly it's earned. How quickly it can be destroyed. I trusted Marie with everything. My secrets, my apartment, my boyfriend. And now I didn't know if any of it was safe. I found it by accident. I was looking for my earrings, the silver ones Daniel gave me for our anniversary. I thought maybe I'd left them in Marie's bathroom. She wasn't home. I checked her room, opening drawers carefully. That's when I saw it. The necklace. Daniel's grandmother's necklace. The one he'd told me he lost months ago. The one he'd been upset about because it meant so much to his family. It was sitting in Marie's jewelry box, hidden under cheap bracelets and tangled chains. My hands shook as I picked it up. The delicate gold chain, the small emerald pendant. I knew it was his. He'd show me photos. His grandmother wore it in every picture. I stood there, holding it, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Why did Marie have it? How did she get it? Did Daniel give it to her?
Did she take it?
My chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe. I put the necklace back exactly where I found it. I closed the drawer. I left her room. I said nothing. Not to Marie. Not to Daniel. Because saying something meant confronting the truth. And I wasn't ready. Not yet. But I knew. Deep down I knew. They'd been lying to me for longer than I thought. This wasn't just an emotional affair. This was something bigger. Something planned. Something that had been happening right under my nose while I trusted them both completely. My birthday dinner was Marie's idea. "You deserve something special," she'd said. "Let me throw you a party." I didn't want one. But she insisted. She invited our closest friends. She picked the restaurant. She planned everything. Daniel came with me. He'd been quiet lately. Distant. I thought maybe he was stressed about work. He kissed my cheek when we arrived. "Happy birthday," he said. But he wouldn't look at me. The dinner started normally. Friends laughing, telling stories, passing around appetizers. Marie sat across from me, smiling. She looked beautiful. She always did. Halfway through dinner, she stood up. "I want to make a toast," she announced. Everyone quieted down. Glasses raised. I smiled, expecting something sweet. something about friendship and memories. Instead, she said, "Lauren, you're an amazing friend. You've always been there for me. And I hope you'll understand what I'm about to say." My smile faded. She looked at Daniel. He looked at his plate. "Daniel and I have been seeing each other," she continued, "since your birthday last year. We didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And we're in love." The room went silent. Someone dropped a fork. I heard it clatter against the plate. Marie reached for Daniel's hand. He let her take it. They stood there, together, while everyone stared at me, waiting for me to react, to scream,
To cry.
to fall apart. But I didn't. I just sat there, watching my best friend destroy me.
Calmly. Publicly.
Like it was something she'd been planning all along. I went home alone that night. Marie stayed behind, probably explaining herself to our friends, probably playing the victim, saying she never meant to hurt me, saying love just happens. I unlocked the apartment door. Her things were everywhere. Her shoes by the entrance, her jacket on the couch, her coffee mug in the sink. She'd lived here for 3 years. 3 years of sharing space, sharing secrets, sharing life. And the whole time, she'd been planning this. I heard the door open behind me. Marie walked in slowly. Her makeup was smudged. She'd been crying. "Lauren, I'm so sorry," she said. I didn't turn around. I kept staring at her coffee mug. Sorry for what? For sleeping with my boyfriend? Or for humiliating me in front of everyone? I didn't know how else to tell you. You could have told me privately. You could have told me months ago. You could have not done it at all. She moved closer. I could smell her perfume. The same one she always wore. The one I used to find comforting. "You'll understand one day," she said softly. "When you find real love. Sometimes it just happens. You can't control it." I finally turned to face her. She looked almost peaceful, like she'd been relieved of a burden. "Get out," I said quietly.
What?
"Pack your things. Get out of my apartment. Tonight." Her eyes widened. "Lauren, please. Let's talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. Now live with it." She stood there for a moment. Then she nodded and went to her room. I listened to her pack. Drawers opening. Closet doors closing. Zippers. Footsteps. 20 minutes later, she walked past me with 2 suitcases. She paused at the door. "You'll understand one day," she repeated. I looked at her one last time. "Oh, I will," I said. "I promise you that." The apartment felt different without her. Bigger. Quieter. I took down the photos first. Not all of them. Just the ones with Marie. I put them in a box in the closet. I couldn't throw them away.
Not yet.
But I couldn't look at them either. I stopped answering calls. Friends wanted to check on me. They wanted to know if I was okay. They wanted to choose sides. I didn't give them the chance. I deleted social media apps from my phone. I didn't want to see Marie's posts. Didn't want to see her and Daniel together. Didn't want to watch her play happy while I fell apart. But I wasn't falling apart. I was rebuilding.
Slowly. Quietly.
I started running in the mornings. Just around the block at first. Then longer distances. I needed to feel my body working, my heart pumping. I needed to feel strong. I bought a journal. I wrote everything down. The timeline. The lies. The moments I'd ignored. The red flags I'd dismissed. Seeing it on paper made it real. Made it undeniable. I went to work. I came home. I cooked dinner. I read books. I existed. And slowly, the pain started to shift. It wasn't gone. But it changed. It became something harder. Something colder. Something useful. Because I realized something important. Marie thought she'd won. She thought taking Daniel meant she'd beaten me. But she hadn't. She'd just shown me who she really was. And now I knew exactly what I was dealing with. I learned the truth from another friend. Kira called me 3 weeks after the dinner. "I need to tell you something," she said. "Marie's been talking about you." "What's she saying?" "She's telling people you were unstable. That you were controlling. That Daniel left you because you were suffocating him. She's making herself look like the hero." My grip tightened on the phone. "She's lying," I know. But people are believing her.
She's good at this, Lauren.
She's rewriting the whole story. After we hung up, I sat there processing. Marie wasn't just taking my boyfriend. She was taking my reputation, my friendships, my truth. She was making me the villain in a story she wrote. I opened my laptop. I went through old messages, old emails, old texts. I found the conversations where she'd asked about Daniel, where she'd volunteered to hang out with both of us, where she'd offered to help plan dates. I found photos with timestamps, proof of when things started, evidence she couldn't deny. I saved everything, organized it into folders, created backups. I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. But I wasn't going to let her lie about me either. If she wanted to play games, I'd play too. But I'd play smarter. Because Marie had one weakness. She thought she was cleverer than everyone else. She thought nobody would notice the patterns. But I'd noticed. And I was done being her victim. The idea came to me late one night. I was scrolling through job postings, not really looking, just passing time. Then I saw it. Marketing position at Vertex Media, the company where Marie now worked. The same company I'd applied to last year. The same company that rejected me. I remembered the rejection email. While your qualifications are impressive, we've decided to move forward with other candidates. I'd been devastated. It was my dream job. I'd ask Marie for advice. She'd hugged me. Their loss, she'd said. You're too good for them, anyway. But now I wondered. Had Marie said something to them? Had she sabotaged my application? I pulled up my old portfolio, updated it with recent projects, changed my email address, applied under my middle name,
Pierce.
Lauren Pierce. 2 weeks later, I got an interview, then a second interview, then an offer. They loved my work. They said I was exactly what they needed. I accepted. I started the following Monday. Marie didn't know. I'd made sure my department was different. We wouldn't cross paths immediately, but eventually we would. And when we did, I'd be ready. This wasn't about revenge. Not really. This was about taking back what she'd stolen. My reputation, my confidence, my future. She'd tried to bury me. Instead, she'd just taught me how to fight back. My first project at Vertex was big. A campaign for their largest client. I worked on it for 2 weeks. Research, strategy, design, messaging. I poured everything into it. It was perfect. Better than anything I'd done before. When I submitted it, my supervisor was impressed. This is excellent work, he said. I want to present this to the senior team. The senior team included department heads. One of them was Marie. She'd moved up quickly. Charm and manipulation had gotten her far. The presentation was scheduled for Friday. I wasn't invited. Only senior staff. But I knew Marie would be there. I knew she'd see my work. And I knew she wouldn't recognize it. Because she'd never actually paid attention to my skills. She'd only paid attention to what I could give her. Friday came. I worked at my desk, pretending not to care. But my heart raced. At 3 o'clock, my supervisor came by. They loved the campaign, he said. Marie even praised it. Said it was some of the best work she'd seen. I smiled. That's great to hear. She wants to meet the person who created it. I'm setting up a meeting for next week.
Perfect.
Everything was going according to plan. Marie thought she was safe. She thought I was gone, broken, buried under her lies. But I was right there. In her building. In her company. In her world. And she had no idea. The meeting was set for Tuesday. I counted down the days. This wasn't about confrontation. This was about watching her realize she'd underestimated me. And there was nothing she could do about it. Tuesday arrived. I wore my best suit, did my makeup carefully,
Pulled my hair back.
professional,
Confident.
untouchable. The meeting was in Marie's office. My supervisor walked me there. She's excited to meet you, he said. You've made quite an impression. We stopped at her door. He knocked. Come in, Marie called. I walked in first. She looked up from her desk. Her smile froze. Her eyes widened. For just a second I saw panic. Then she recovered. That practiced smile returned. Lauren, she said carefully. Hi, Marie. My supervisor looked between us. You two know each other? Old friends, Marie said quickly. What a small world. She stood, walking around her desk. Her movements were measured, controlled. Your work was incredible, she continued. I had no idea you were this talented. The lie was smooth, but I heard it. I'd always been talented. She'd just never acknowledged it. Thank you, I said. I've learned a lot. We sat down. My supervisor explained the next steps. Marie nodded along. She asked questions. She played her part perfectly, but her hands shook slightly. She kept glancing at me, trying to figure out what I was doing here, trying to understand if this was coincidence or something else. I didn't give her answers. I just smiled. Professional. Pleasant. Like we were strangers. Like she hadn't destroyed my life 4 months ago. When the meeting ended, Marie walked us to the door. Let's have coffee sometime, she said to me. Catch up. Maybe, I replied. I knew we wouldn't, because I wasn't here to catch up. I was here to watch. Over the next month, I let Marie take credit for parts of my campaign. Small things. A tagline here. A design choice there. She did it subtly. In meetings, she'd say, "What if we tried this?" Suggesting ideas I'd already implemented. People listened to her. They always had. She had authority, charm, confidence. I said nothing. I just watched her dig her own grave. Then I compiled everything. Emails with timestamps. Original files with metadata. First drafts with my name. Notes from brainstorming sessions. Every piece of evidence showing the campaign was mine. I didn't send it to my supervisor. I sent it directly to the board. The email was professional. Subject line: regarding campaign attribution and company ethics. I explained calmly. No emotion, just facts. I attached the evidence. I CC'd human resources. Then I went to lunch. 2 hours later, Marie was called into a meeting. I watched her walk past my desk.
She didn't look at me.
But I saw her face. She knew. 3 days later, whispers started. Marie was being investigated. Questions about other projects. Patterns of taking credit. Clients pulling back. Friday afternoon, she was asked to resign. Not publicly. They kept it quiet. But word spread anyway. It always does. She cleaned out her office that evening.
I wasn't there to see it.
I'd already left for the day. But my supervisor told me later.
She seemed shocked, he said.
Like she couldn't believe it happened. I nodded sympathetically. But inside, I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No joy. Just a quiet sense of justice. She'd built her success on lies. Now those lies had finally caught up with her. Marie reached out 2 weeks later. A text message. Short and desperate. Someone's destroying my reputation. Do you know anything about this? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I replied. Maybe now you understand what it feels like to have your life stolen by someone you trusted. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then nothing.
She didn't respond.
I didn't expect her to. What could she say? She'd done to me exactly what I'd done to her. Except I'd used truth. She'd used lies. That was the difference. I heard from Kira that Marie was struggling. No job offers. Friends distancing themselves. Daniel had left her. Apparently, once the charm wore off, there wasn't much left. Do you feel bad?
Kira asked me.
I thought about it.
Really thought about it.
No, I said honestly. She made choices. Now she's living with them. That's cold.
No.
It's fair. And it was. I didn't ruin Marie's life. She did that herself. I just stopped protecting her from the consequences. I just stopped letting her use me as a stepping stone. The difference between us was simple. She hurt people to get ahead. I just stopped letting her hurt me. That wasn't revenge. That was survival. That was self-respect. That was choosing myself for once instead of choosing someone who never chose me. 3 months passed. I settled into my job. Made new friends. Started dating again. Nothing serious. Just learning to trust people slowly. Carefully. I was in a coffee shop when my phone buzzed. Marie's name on the screen. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Hello. Lauren. Her voice was different. Smaller. Tired. I need to talk to you.
Please.
Just 5 minutes.
Why?
Because I think someone's trying to ruin me. And if it's you, I need to know. I need to understand why. I could have lied. Could have denied it. But I didn't. You really don't know?
I asked.
Don't know what? You stole my boyfriend. You humiliated me publicly.
You spread lies about me.
You sabotaged my career. And you did all of it while pretending to be my best friend. You don't get to ask me why. Silence. Long and heavy. I never meant to hurt you, she finally said. You meant every bit of it, I replied. You planned it. You calculated it. You enjoyed it. The only thing you didn't mean was getting caught. I lost everything. So did I. 3 months before you. Remember? This is different.
No, Marie.
It's exactly the same. You just never thought it would happen to you. You thought you were untouchable. You thought you were smarter than everyone. But you weren't. You were just cruel. And cruel people always lose eventually. I hung up. My hand was steady. My heart was calm. I finished my coffee and left. That night, I slept better than I had in months. Marie's downfall was quiet. No dramatic scene. No public confrontation. Just a slow unraveling. She moved back to her hometown. I heard she was working retail, living with her parents, trying to rebuild a life she destroyed through her own arrogance. Daniel tried to reach out once. An email, long and apologetic, explaining that he'd been confused, that Marie had manipulated both of us, that he still loved me. I didn't respond, because it didn't matter anymore. He'd made his choices. He'd believed her lies. He'd hurt me just as much as she had. They deserved each other. Even if they weren't together anymore, they deserved the loneliness they'd created. I ran into Bradley at that same coffee shop. Heard about Marie, he said.
Yeah.
You doing okay? I'm doing great, actually. And I'd gotten a promotion. My campaign had won awards. I'd made genuine friends. People who liked me for me, not for what I could give them. Good for you, Bradley said. You always deserved better than her. I smiled. I know that now. That was the difference. Before, I'd thought I needed Marie. Needed her friendship, her validation, her presence in my life. But I didn't. I never had. She'd made me think I was incomplete without her. That I was lucky to have her. But the truth was simpler. She'd been lucky to have me. And she'd thrown it away. Her loss. Not mine. I'm sitting by the lake now. It's sunset. The sky is orange and pink. Water ripples in the breeze. I come here sometimes. When I need to think. When I need to remember how far I've come. People ask me if I regret what I did. If I feel guilty for exposing Marie. For watching her lose everything. The answer is no. I don't. Because revenge isn't really about hurting someone else. It's about refusing to let them keep hurting you. It's about taking back your power, your voice, your truth. Marie taught me something valuable. She taught me that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who knows your secrets will protect them. Not everyone who says they love you actually does. She also taught me that I'm stronger than I thought. That I can survive betrayal. That I can rebuild from nothing. That I don't need people who don't value me. The moment I stopped trying to make her see my worth was the moment I finally saw it myself. I didn't need her validation. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need her friendship. I just needed to remember who I was before she made me doubt everything. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. That girl was too trusting, too forgiving, too willing to ignore red flags because she was afraid of being alone. This version of me is different, wiser, stronger, more careful with who I let close. But not broken. Never broken. Marie tried to break me. She tried to take everything. My boyfriend. My reputation. My future. My sense of self. But she failed. Because you can't break someone who refuses to stay down. You can hurt them. You can betray them. But you can't destroy them. Not if they choose to rise. I stand up, brushing off my jeans. The sun has almost set. The lake is calm now. Mirror-like. I take one last look at the water. At my reflection. I see someone who survived. Someone who fought back. Someone who chose herself. Marie is somewhere out there. Living with her choices. Living with the consequences. And I'm here.
Free. Whole.
Finally at peace. I walk back to my car. Tomorrow I have a presentation. New client. Big opportunity. Life keeps moving forward. And so do I. Without her. Without Daniel. Without anyone who thought I was less than I am. I learned my lesson. Know your worth. Protect your peace. And never let anyone convince you that their presence in your life is more valuable than your own self-respect. Because it isn't. It never was. And it never will be.